Welcome to Smack Talk. Hopefully everything still sounds kind of okay. I do have a new interface, audio interface. That's what my microphone is plugged into. It's the newer generation. Things might be a little bit different as I'm still tweaking some settings. Anyhow, sound in the background, it's not bacon in a frying pan. It is the soothing sounds of the rain falling on the leaves. I'm so glad that I got into this amateur, unprofessional looking thing where I've got crib notes. Because it's important. Link down below in the description box to credit WWE for piecing this together, but it doesn't, again, highlight everything. For instance, this is not how it started. John Cena opened up the show. And then Roman Reigns comes out right away. He tries to intimidate John Cena and saying, you know what, you should get out of my ring. He's in there with Paul Heyman and Solo Sikoa. But then, as Cena says, hey, I'm not here to challenge you. I'm here to acknowledge you, he said. Remember, because there's people that watch me that haven't watched the show, which is crazy, and thank you for that, but you should really watch the show. And John Cena's like, no, I haven't earned that, Mr. 1,139 days as champion. He goes, but I do know somebody who has earned it. And that's when he calls out LA Knight, and then Jimmy Uso tries to pull a fast one. Well, he didn't try. He did. Cheap shot at LA Knight from behind. Then the bloodline. Well, they left the ring, and I'm thinking, why? Like, you're such a big badass. You're not afraid of John Cena and LA Knight just standing there in the middle of the ring. So, again, you see how that was important? Now we can go on with Pretty Deadly that made their return. And of course, they faced the Brawling Brutes because a few months ago, these two right here got into a situation where he bonked a shoulder, but somehow he needed a wheelchair. Okay? And when he picked him up like that, all I could think about was Ridge. Please don't kill him. Because remember what he did? I know I keep going on about it, and it sounds really bad, but there's a little part of my personality that's a little bit Jesse the Body Ventura. The true heel of commentators. If I were to be a commentator, I think, which I could never be one because I'm just not that good, I'm just sharing with you my preference. If I could pick, I would be like a Jesse the Body Ventura on the microphone, on commentator. If you don't know who he is, look him up, please. Or if you want to talk modern terms, I would be more of a Corey Graves, who I absolutely adore. So yeah, and then Michael Cole goes, oh my god, look at the strength. I'm like, it's Elton Prince. Guy weighs like as much as a bag of potatoes that's maybe been soaking for a little bit because, water makes things weigh a little bit more. Try picking up Bronson Reed like that and then I'll be impressed. Okay? That's all I'm saying. Still nice nonetheless. I enjoyed the match. And Pretty Deadly, as always, still reminds me of the Fashion Police. I'm just not that emotionally attached to them, but I am very happy that they are back. I am. Now I'm going to go through the rest of my notes. That way, what's going to end up happening is if I go through the rest of what's going on here, I'll have made sure that I've covered everything. So there was a backstage incident with Carlito. Now, that's cool. I love Carlito, again, looking in great shape. He's getting a bit older. It's okay. He's actually the same age as like Damian Priest and frickin' Finn Balor. And he got jumped by the Street Profits while he was talking to Bobby Lashley, who was trying to smooch him. Well, not smooch him. I just mean like suck up to him. Hey, shake my hand and all that. So Bayley then decides that it was an opportune time to interrupt. Nobody wants to hear Bayley. As a person, again, I just love everybody. That is a part of the business. They bring a unique dynamic to the world of professional wrestling, however small or big that may be. Just like Ryback bitch didn't really bring much, but he brought something. Okay? So it's not the person that I don't like, unless it's Ryback. Fuck that clown. But Bayley's character, it's still annoying. I just don't like her on the microphone. She's just better off just not, okay? But anyways, Zelina Vega was like, you know what? You're rude. And then that led them to a match because Adam Pearce was like, you know what? I'm not having any of this. Get out of the back. Get in that ring. And then they had their match. So that was that. And then at one point, backstage, Roman and Jimmy Uso were chatting about Jay having the belts and how that's tarnishing the legacy of the bloodline. Because Jimmy was all sitting there like, yeah, I'm like the quarterback. I'm like the audible guy or whatever he was saying. I'm trying to remember all this off of memory here. And Roman Reigns is just kind of like, oh boy. Just the whole thing's just a little bit weird. But I have to admit, if the bloodline's going to be around for much longer, Roman Reigns is going to be champion longer, I would like to see some kind of update to the bloodline. An extra member or just Jimmy officially being a part of that roster. Okay? So there you go. Then Bayley did have a match with Zelina Vega. I mean, it wasn't a bad match, but sometimes, like I said, with Zelina Vega, it's kind of like a hit and miss. It can seem a little bit awkward, like a little bit of the hesitation there. I don't really find that from Bayley. So I do find that in ring she's better, even though I do prefer Zelina Vega despite that. Okay? And then post-match, good thing I wrote it down again, Charlotte came out to the aid of Zelina because Damage Control tried to overwhelm Zelina Vega. And it didn't quite work. No, it didn't. The undisputed WWE Tag Team Champions, being Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso, defeated Austin Theory and Grayson Waller. This was a nice match. I enjoyed it. I really, really do enjoy Austin Theory and Grayson Waller, as I do enjoy the Tag Team Champs. I enjoy them. I love Cody and Jey Uso being champions. It was absolutely amazing. And I'm going to talk about something else in a moment. Yeah, so just the match overall was just really good. To me, it had the E in WWE for entertainment purposes. LA Knight defeats Solo Sikoa. And that was the end of the night. That was the last match. Again, if I didn't write these notes, there's some other very important stuff that happened here that we're going to discuss in a moment. This was just nice to see. Plain and simple. Nothing really extra that I need to add to the equation here. At one point, Triple H did come out to promote Adam Pearce to the GM of Raw. Dirty Dom then comes out complaining, and I didn't even hear what he really said, so that's going to shorten the video a little bit because of the overwhelming loudness of the boos. And he was complaining and whining and moaning. I still love Dirty Dom. Nick Aldis, I'm not going to lie. I mean, he's right there. It's like I know who he is, but I don't really. And I'm not going to lie. I told you this. If I don't know something, I'm not going to pretend like I know someone or something. I'm not just going to Google search it for 5 seconds and pretend like I know the whole backstory. I don't think I know who he is, but I'm going to look into him after this video. He is now the GM of SmackDown, and it seems like he is not a heel GM because he went to Dom and was like, look, man, I'm a huge, huge fan of your father. And just kind of like walks away. It made me laugh. And then there was that whole thing too, which is so important to talk about, where because somebody came to Raw, somebody had to go to SmackDown. This has to be the highlight of the night. Kevin Owens is now on SmackDown. I don't like that because, oh my God. And then Roman Reigns isn't happy with that. He's like, Cody's on my show. KO is on my show. And then Charlotte quickly runs into Jade backstage. And it seemed kind of friendly from Jade's side, but Charlotte was a bit more like, yeah, you'll get to know me. And it's like, oh boy, can't wait to see that match. What's happening with Sami Zayn and the whole KO thing? Am I reading this wrong? Or looking into this wrong? They've been separated. I don't like that so much for them ever potentially getting the tag team titles back. However, I got to admit, I do very much enjoy Cody and Jay having it. It's such a unique situation. It's a break away from finishing the story for Cody Rhodes. And like I said before, 13, 14 years in the business for Jay and Jimmy as the Usos, if I'm not mistaken. Again, the first time in history that not only is Jay separated from his original brother and partner, but he's champion again. And to me, when I think of Jay Uso, and that's the way the story has been pushed out, is I do, from a story perspective, prefer Jay over Jimmy. But that's because of how everything has been pushed out, right? Because, I mean, overall, I love the Usos. So, I'm very much just like, wow, I got checkmate, because I did not see that coming. Kevin Owens coming over to SmackDown. Like, holy shit. To me, that was huge, huge, huge. We're just going to have to wait and see what happens, literally. And I can't think of anything else that I need to say. But again, always feel free to check on that link. Oh, and as a result of Carlito being attacked, he got like a bit of an injury. So Santos Escobar is going to be taking on Montez Ford next week. And I'm like, why can't it just be Carlito? So it looks like he's back in for good. Or at least, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like just a once or twice a year kind of thing. There was that little meeting. I just can't get over that. Like, wow, that's a huge move. And it was really cool seeing LA Knight talk to Roman Reigns. That little promo was actually pretty good. Just making sure that I'm not forgetting anything. Oh, sort of, kind of. After the match with Cody and Jay, that was some pretty wild stuff right there, because they ran as they were walking back to the backstage. Roman Reigns, Solo, and Jimmy come out, and it's just like, wow, you know, like just that whole moment. It was just awkward in a good way. So I really enjoyed this season premiere of SmackDown. And again, I'm not going to pretend like I know what that means. Is it like, kind of like, I have no idea. Sometimes TV shows, they do like a premiere, like a new season, you know, like every year. It's not like January the 1st is the beginning of a season for a TV show. I'm guessing mid-October is simply when they decide to shake things up a little bit, right? I'm guessing. I forget what that means, because to me it's like every week. It just never ends, like a soap opera, right? Enough rambling. Think I covered everything. Let me know down below in the comment section what you think of anything that's related to wrestling. Or even video games, because I'm desperate for some engagement on the channel, because it helps promote the channel with the algorithm the more stuff there is going on. So if you liked the video, thumbs up. You didn't like it, thumbs down. We bend it in half, we twist it, break it off in your ass. And if you want to subscribe to the channel, naturally that would be great, but if not, I get it. Thanks for stopping by anyways. Take care, and maybe I'll see some of you in the next one. Bye for now.